foods high in salt, sodium, and their harmful effects on muscle cramps in the elderly. Salt, also known as sodium chloride, is an indispensable component of the human daily diet. Sodium plays an important role in maintaining the body's water and electrolyte balance, regulating blood pressure, and supporting nerve and muscle functions. However, consuming too much salt can cause many harmful effects, especially for elderly people suffering from muscle cramps. Muscle cramps are sudden, uncontrollable muscle contractions that often cause pain. In the elderly, cramps often occur due to many causes, among which electrolyte imbalance and dehydration are the two main factors. When the body has excess sodium, it causes a severe electrolyte imbalance, increasing the risk of muscle cramps. One of the biggest harms of consuming too much salt is increasing the sodium level in the blood, causing the body to retain more water to dilute the sodium concentration. This leads to edema and raises pressure on blood vessels, negatively affecting blood circulation. When blood flow is poor, muscles do not receive enough oxygen and nutrients, making them easily fatigued and prone to contraction, which causes cramps. Moreover, high sodium intake increases the excretion of calcium and potassium through urine. Calcium and potassium are two essential minerals that help muscles contract and relax normally. Deficiency in these minerals reduces the ability to regulate muscle contraction, making muscles prone to uncontrollable spasms, leading to cramps. Especially in the elderly whose kidney function is already diminished, mineral loss through urine becomes even more serious. Foods high in salt usually include fast foods, processed foods, salty snacks, pickled vegetables, salted fish, and bottled sauces. These foods not only contain very high amounts of salt but also often lack other essential nutrients, making the elderly more susceptible to nutritional and electrolyte imbalances. Another important point is that salt increases the sensation of thirst, causing elderly people to drink more water. However, if they do not drink enough water or do so improperly, the body still becomes dehydrated, leading to ongoing electrolyte imbalance and continued muscle cramps. Therefore, limiting the consumption of foods high in salt is very necessary for the elderly, especially those with a history of or currently experiencing muscle cramps. Instead of processed foods, elderly people should prioritize fresh, home-cooked meals with moderate salt content, combined with a diet rich in potassium, calcium, and magnesium to maintain electrolyte balance and muscle health. In summary, although salt is an essential mineral, consuming too much salt can disrupt electrolyte balance, increase pressure on the circulatory system, and reduce muscle flexibility, thereby causing or worsening muscle cramps in the elderly. Controlling daily salt intake is one of the important measures to prevent and reduce muscle cramps, contributing to improving the quality of life for older adults. Foods high in caffeine and their effects on elderly health and muscle cramps. Caffeine is a common natural stimulant found in many foods and beverages such as coffee, tea, carbonated soft drinks, energy drinks, and some types of chocolate. In healthy adults, caffeine can help increase alertness and concentration. However, for the elderly, especially those experiencing health issues like muscle cramps, caffeine consumption needs to be carefully considered due to potential negative effects. One of the main impacts of caffeine on the elderly is its ability to cause dehydration. Caffeine has a mild diuretic effect, increasing urine output from the body. When the body loses water, important minerals such as potassium, calcium, and magnesium, essential factors for maintaining normal muscle contraction and relaxation, are also excreted more. The deficiency of these minerals makes muscles prone to uncontrollable spasms, causing muscle cramps, especially in elderly individuals who already have reduced kidney function and impaired electrolyte balance. Additionally, caffeine can overstimulate the central nervous system, causing tension and muscle contractions. In the elderly, the nervous system tends to be more sensitive, so excessive caffeine intake can increase the risk of muscle spasms, leading to cramps. This stimulation can also reduce sleep quality, negatively affecting muscle recovery and relaxation, thereby worsening muscle cramps. Another important point is that caffeine may interact with some medications that elderly people are taking, such as diuretics or blood pressure drugs. This interaction can increase the risk of dehydration and electrolyte imbalance, further aggravating muscle cramp symptoms. Foods and drinks high in caffeine are very common and easily accessible, but the elderly should limit or avoid excessive consumption. For example, instead of drinking strong coffee or tea, they can switch to caffeine-free beverages such as plain water, fresh fruit juices, or mild herbal teas. This not only helps reduce the risk of muscle cramps but also supports overall health improvement. Moreover, elderly people should pay attention to their total daily caffeine intake, including sources like carbonated soft drinks, energy drinks, and chocolate. Reading labels carefully and controlling consumption is very important to avoid caffeine overdose. In summary, although caffeine has certain benefits in increasing alertness, for the elderly, especially those suffering from muscle cramps, excessive caffeine intake can cause serious harm. Caffeine increases dehydration, causes electrolyte imbalance, and stimulates muscle contractions, thereby raising the risk and severity of muscle cramps. Therefore, limiting foods high in caffeine and maintaining a balanced diet rich in water and essential minerals is crucial to protect health and reduce muscle cramp symptoms in older adults. Alcoholic beverages and their harmful effects on the elderly and muscle cramps. Alcoholic beverages such as wine, beer, and spirits are popular drinks in many cultures around the world. However, for the elderly, alcohol consumption needs to be strictly controlled because it can cause many serious health problems, especially for those suffering from muscle cramps. One of the most obvious negative effects of alcohol on the body is its ability to cause dehydration. Alcohol has a strong diuretic effect, causing the body to excrete more water through urine. Prolonged dehydration leads to electrolyte imbalance in the body, reducing levels of minerals such as potassium, calcium, and magnesium, essential elements that help muscles contract and relax normally. When these minerals are deficient, muscles become prone to uncontrollable spasms, causing painful cramps. In elderly people whose kidney and water electrolyte regulatory systems have diminished function, dehydration caused by alcohol further increases the risk of muscle cramps. Moreover, alcohol directly affects nerve and muscle function. It can disrupt the transmission of nerve signals to muscles, making muscles less flexible and more likely to spasm. Alcohol-induced nerve damage also reduces the ability to control muscle contractions, causing cramps to occur more frequently and severely. This effect is especially pronounced and dangerous in the elderly, whose nervous systems are already weakened. Alcohol also negatively impacts sleep quality, reducing both the duration and depth of restorative sleep. Poor sleep directly affects the recovery ability of muscles and the nervous system, leaving the body insufficiently rested, which increases the risk of nighttime muscle cramps, a very common condition among older adults. Another important point is that alcohol can interact with many medications elderly people often use, such as blood pressure drugs, diuretics, and blood thinners. These interactions can alter the effectiveness of medications, causing serious side effects like sudden hypotension, electrolyte imbalance, and increased risk of muscle cramps. Long-term alcohol consumption can also cause liver damage, reducing the body's ability to metabolize and eliminate toxins, impairing overall health and slowing the recovery process of muscle injuries. For these reasons, elderly individuals, especially those who suffer from or are at high risk of muscle cramps, should limit or ideally avoid alcohol consumption altogether. Instead, they should focus on maintaining a balanced diet, staying well hydrated, supplementing essential minerals, and keeping healthy lifestyle habits to prevent and reduce muscle cramps. In summary, alcoholic beverages cause dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, impair nerve and muscle functions, reduce sleep quality, and interact adversely with medications, all contributing to increased risk and severity of muscle cramps in the elderly. Proper control of alcohol consumption habits is an important measure to protect health and improve quality of life for older adults. Foods high in sugar and refined starches and their harmful effects on elderly health and muscle cramps. Foods high in sugar and refined starches such as candies, soft drinks, white bread, white rice, and pasta made from refined wheat flour are common in modern diets. However, for the elderly, consuming excessive amounts of these foods can cause serious health problems, including negative impacts on muscle cramps. Sugar and refined starches are rapidly absorbed into the body, causing sudden spikes in blood sugar levels. This not only leads to metabolic issues like diabetes but also adversely affects muscle and nervous system functions. Elderly individuals often have poorer blood sugar regulation, so large fluctuations in blood glucose can increase the risk of damage to small blood vessels and peripheral nerves. This damage impairs muscle control and movement, contributing to the occurrence of muscle cramps. In addition, foods high in sugar and refined starches typically lack essential nutrients such as B vitamins, magnesium, potassium, and calcium, minerals crucial for maintaining normal muscle contraction and relaxation. Deficiencies in these minerals make muscles more prone to fatigue, spasms, and cramps. High sugar intake also contributes to increased inflammation in the body. Chronic inflammation is one of the causes of muscle and nerve tissue weakening, making muscles more susceptible to injury and spasms. In the elderly, immune function and tissue repair capacity decline, so inflammation caused by excessive sugar intake further increases the risk of muscle cramps. Another harmful effect of sugar and refined starches is weight gain and obesity, which are risk factors that increase pressure on the musculoskeletal system. When body weight increases, muscles must work harder to support the body, leading to fatigue and cramps, especially in the legs and back. Consuming large amounts of sugar also negatively affects sleep quality, causing difficulty falling asleep or shallow sleep, which reduces the ability of muscles and the nervous system to recover. Poor sleep is a factor that increases the frequency and severity of muscle cramps in older adults. Therefore, elderly people should minimize their intake of foods high in sugar and refined starches. Instead, they should prioritize whole grain foods rich in fiber such as brown rice, oats, legumes, green vegetables, and fresh fruits. These foods help maintain stable blood sugar levels and provide sufficient minerals and vitamins necessary for muscle health. In summary, foods high in sugar and refined starches cause many harmful effects including nutritional imbalance, increased inflammation, blood sugar fluctuations, and weight gain, all of which contribute to a higher risk and severity of muscle cramps in the elderly. Controlling the intake of sugar and refined starches in the diet is an important step to protect health and improve quality of life for older adults. Oxalate-rich foods and their effects on elderly health and muscle cramps. Oxalate is a natural compound found in many foods such as spinach, beets, kale, sweet potatoes, cashews, cocoa, and black tea. Although oxalate is not directly harmful at low levels, excessive consumption, especially in the elderly, can cause several health issues related to mineral balance and the risk of muscle cramps. One of the main effects of oxalate is its ability to bind with calcium in the body to form calcium oxalate crystals, which are the primary component of kidney stones. The formation of kidney stones not only causes pain but also reduces calcium absorption in the body. Calcium is an essential mineral that helps maintain normal muscle contraction and relaxation. When free calcium levels in the blood decrease due to binding with oxalate, muscles become more prone to spasms, leading to cramps that are particularly common in older adults. Additionally, oxalate can affect the absorption of other minerals such as magnesium and potassium, key elements in maintaining the stability of the nervous system and muscles. Deficiencies in these minerals increase the risk of muscle contractions and more frequent cramps. Elderly people often have reduced kidney function, which diminishes their ability to excrete oxalate and other waste products from the body. When oxalate accumulates, the risk of kidney stone formation and mineral imbalance increases, resulting in more severe cramp symptoms. Moreover, oxalate can irritate the gastrointestinal mucosa, reducing overall nutrient absorption. When the body does not receive adequate nutrients, muscles are deprived of the energy and minerals needed to function properly, making them more susceptible to fatigue and cramps. It is important to note that many oxalate-rich foods also contain high levels of fiber and beneficial antioxidants, so they should not be completely eliminated from the diet. Instead, elderly individuals should balance their oxalate intake and increase consumption of calcium-rich foods to reduce stone formation. For example, consuming spinach together with calcium-rich foods like milk or cheese can help reduce oxalate absorption. Furthermore, drinking enough water daily is crucial to help the kidneys effectively eliminate oxalate, reduce the risk of kidney stones, and maintain electrolyte balance, thereby helping to prevent muscle cramps. In summary, excessive or unbalanced intake of oxalate-rich foods can cause mineral imbalances, increase the risk of kidney stones, and worsen muscle cramps in the elderly. Understanding oxalate and adjusting the diet accordingly is essential to protect muscle and nervous system health and improve the quality of life for older adults. Saturated and trans fats in foods and their harmful effects on elderly health and muscle cramps. Saturated fats and trans fats are two types of fats commonly found in many processed foods, fried foods, animal fats, butter, cheese, industrial pastries, snacks, and fast food. Although fats are an important energy source for the body, excessive consumption of these unhealthy fats, especially in the elderly, causes many negative health effects, including an impact on muscle cramps. One of the major harms of saturated and trans fats is their role in increasing chronic inflammation in the body. Prolonged chronic inflammation damages muscle tissues and the nervous system, reducing the muscle's ability to contract and recover. In older adults whose immune systems are already weakened, inflammation caused by unhealthy fats further increases the risk of muscle cramps and other muscle problems. Saturated and trans fats also contribute to atherosclerosis, causing narrowing and reduced blood flow to organs, especially muscles. When blood supply is insufficient in oxygen and nutrients, muscles quickly become fatigued, prone to spasms and cramps. This is one of the reasons why elderly people frequently experience cramps, particularly in the legs and feet. Moreover, these fats increase the risk of insulin resistance and other metabolic disorders such as type 2 diabetes. This condition reduces muscle cells' ability to use glucose, causing local energy deficiency and leading to cramps because muscles do not receive enough fuel to function properly. Trans fats also negatively affect cell membrane function, reducing flexibility and the ability to transmit nerve signals to muscles. This makes muscles slow to respond and prone to uncontrolled spasms, increasing the frequency and severity of cramps. In addition, consuming high amounts of saturated and trans fats is often associated with diets deficient in important nutrients such as magnesium, potassium, calcium, and vitamin D, essential factors for maintaining healthy muscle function. These deficiencies increase the risk of cramps and muscle-related problems in older adults. Therefore, elderly people should minimize their intake of foods high in saturated and trans fats. Instead, they should prioritize healthy fat sources such as olive oil, flaxseed oil, fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, nuts, and avocados. These fats not only help reduce inflammation and improve blood circulation but also provide omega-3 fatty acids beneficial for nerve and muscle health. In summary, foods rich in saturated and trans fats cause chronic inflammation, atherosclerosis, metabolic disorders, and nutrient deficiencies, all of which contribute to the increased risk and severity of muscle cramps in the elderly. Adjusting the diet and choosing healthy fat sources is an important step to protect muscle health and improve quality of life for older adults. Muscle cramps are a common condition in the elderly, causing pain, discomfort, and significantly affecting daily quality of life. As a doctor, I would like to offer practical advice to help prevent and reduce muscle cramps, while maintaining muscle and overall health. Maintain a balanced and nutrient-rich diet. Elderly people need to ensure adequate intake of essential minerals such as calcium, magnesium, potassium, and vitamin D, important factors for maintaining normal muscle contraction and relaxation functions. Prioritize fresh, mineral-rich foods such as green vegetables, beans, nuts, dairy products, fatty fish, fresh fruits, and whole grains. At the same time, minimize foods high in sugar, refined starch, saturated fats, and trans fats, as they can increase inflammation and cause nutritional imbalances, worsening muscle cramps. Drink enough water daily. Dehydration is a common cause of muscle cramps, especially in the elderly, as the sensation of thirst often decreases with age. Try to drink between 1.5 to 2 liters of water daily to avoid dehydration. Water helps maintain electrolyte balance and supports muscle function, reducing the risk of spasms. Exercise regularly. Gentle and regular physical activity improves blood circulation, enhances muscle flexibility, and reduces the frequency of cramps. Elderly people should choose suitable exercises such as walking, yoga, tai chi, or light stretching before bedtime. However, avoid overexertion or sudden movements that may injure muscles. Pay attention to posture and living environment. Sitting, standing, or lying postures also affect muscle flexibility. Maintain correct posture. Avoid sitting or standing in one position for too long, and use appropriate cushions or pillows to reduce pressure on muscle groups. Additionally, keeping the body warm, especially the legs and feet, helps reduce the risk of cold-induced cramps. Timely medical examination and treatment. If cramps occur frequently, increase in pain intensity, or are accompanied by other unusual symptoms such as numbness or muscle weakness, elderly people should see a doctor for examination and accurate diagnosis. Some cases of cramps may be related to neurological, vascular, or metabolic disorders requiring specialized treatment. Proper use of medication and supplements. Using medications or mineral supplements should be under the guidance and prescription of a doctor to avoid misuse or unwanted interactions. Do not self-medicate or use products of unknown origin or inappropriate for your health condition. Although muscle cramps are not a serious disease if not well controlled, they can greatly affect the daily life and health of elderly people. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle, a proper diet, regular exercise, and periodic medical checkups are key to effectively preventing and reducing muscle cramps. Listen to your body, take care of yourself scientifically, and proactively seek medical support when necessary to enjoy a healthy, energetic life in old age.